One, two, three, and...
Hey besties, welcome back to the channel. I'm excited about today's video, and as you can see on the title and on the thumbnail, we are going to be making a kimono. Now before we get into cutting and sewing this kimono or them kimonos, because we're not going to be making just one kimono or even two or even three or four, or we're going to be making a lot of kimonos, okay? And this here is the beginning of the whole journey. This is the first kimono we're going to be making together, but on this video we're going to be practically talking about the kimono or kimonos before we start making them, okay? So what is a kimono? In case you're a beginner or you're new to the sewing world, I got you, okay? A kimono is just a long, loose, free Japanese traditional garment that we all has incorporated into our own attire, okay? So the Japanese people were the first to originate wearing a kimono, and now we do wear it, okay? So we Africans has hijacked this whole thing and we have made it our own. But anyways, the Japanese people don't even wear their kimonos as an everyday thing or for their everyday activities. They wear kimonos for occasions, okay? Occasions like weddings, tea ceremony, funerals, graduation parties. You get special occasion, unlike us Africans that have hijacked this particular attire and now we do it or we wear it as our everyday wears. They wore it for occasion. I know for me, I wear this as my everyday activities clothes. Like when I want to wear a singlet and a shirt and go out and I'm like, okay, I need to be a little bit covered, I just use my kimono to cover up those, the outfits, and I'm good to go, okay? Trust me, this is like a beginner friendly outfit. Nobody cannot make this. Like everybody can make it. Do you get? Everybody can make it. Literally everybody can make it, okay? It is like the simplest thing to make as a beginner, and if you have watched any of my videos before, you will know that I make things more simpler, okay? So if it's simple for anybody to make and you're watching it here on the channel, it is going to be more simpler because I'm going to break it down, okay? Yes, and that is what we're doing on this video. Now, according to the Japanese people, there are a lot of type of kimono, and we are not going to be getting into that because we're not going to be sewing any of their types. We're just going to be creating the ones that we know here back home. And yeah, I'm going to be sharing with you guys 3 type of kimono for this back to back, and then after 2 we come later, okay? So we're doing 5 kimonos. 3 are available for you right now back to back, and then continuation is the 4th and the 5th. Now on the 3 that I'm about to share with you, the first type of kimono I want to make with you, which is on this particular video, is the straight cut kimono with a cut out sleeves. So we're going to be creating a kimono and then we're going to create a sleeves and attach to the kimono, and this particular kimono is going to also have a front band, and that is just it. Very simple and very easy, okay? Trust me, it is easy. You can make it, okay? Just pay attention. Now the second kimono to come to you after this one back to back is going to be an Ankara kimono, A-line Ankara kimono that also has a band, but then this particular kimono is a cut together kimono, okay? So number 2 is like the easiest kimono for anybody to make. This one is going to be easy too, but number 2 kimono to come is going to be the easiest because it's cut together with the sleeves. You don't even have to create a sleeve no more. And the third kimono that I'll be bringing to you on the kimono series is the cow kimono, okay? And this one too, very easy to make. Is just know how to fold your fabric and know how to mark your measurements and you're done, okay? We're not attaching a band to this, and it is like easy, okay? Trust me, easy. So that is what I have for you on this introduction, and please do pay attention to this video if you really want to make one for yourself. And I've made videos where I talked about the things that beginners can create and sell while they are learning how to sew. This is also part of what you can sell. Okay, so if you're able to pay attention to this kimono we're about to make, you can make this part of your collection, like just make kimonos different type and sell this out and make some money for yourself, baby. You don't sleep on this particular video. And that is it. Don't forget to like this video, share, subscribe if you're new, and please do not forget to tell me how much you like this video. Suggest to me if there is any issue so I can help you sort it out. And without no further ado, let's dive into today's video. If you want to make a kimono, the first thing you're going to do, that's this type of kimono, because we're doing 3 now. This type, the first thing you're going to do is to fold your fabric into 2, right? See, I've done mine. I folded it into 2. I'm going to pin this. Okay, so you should have pin, or if you have something very heavy that you can place on the fabric so it does not move while you cut. Remember, the first thing I did was fold this fabric into 2 and I pinned it. Now I'm going to tell you guys how to know the fold, okay, for your fabric, how to know what to fold out, because you're a beginner, you don't know, right? The first thing you're going to determine is the width of the folding and the length, right? So I want my length to be 60, and see, placing my tape from here down to the fabric here. We even have more than 6. Okay, no, it's 60. So it's 60. That's how long I want the kimono to be, right? Now the next thing that determines your folding is the width. Now how do you know the width? The biggest part of your body, the biggest round measurement you have on your body that you're working with, you're going to divide that number by 4 and you're going to calculate it, okay, adding 4 to 5 inches to it. Example, my round hip is 43. I'm going to say 43 divided by 4, and that is 10.75. Now I'm going to confirm my 10.75 on the fold of my fabric, and I have it here. And I added 4 inches extra to it because this is a kimono. You need it to be free, unless you want your kimono to be fitted. If you want it to be fitted, you can just do this and add maybe 2 inches extra for just sewing allowance. But if you want it to be free, you know how the kimono looks, okay? The purpose of kimono is for it to be free and, you know, flowy and stuff. So I added 4 inches. So this is my 10.75, which is my round waist, my round hip divided by 4 plus 4 inches. So my total fabric fold here is 16. Okay, so how did I get my width? I divided my biggest part, which is my round hip, by 4, and I added 4 to 5 inches to that number. Okay, so you should do that, and you should know the fold of your fabric, and go ahead and fold your fabric now. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to move on to the top here. I'm going to go with my chalk. Now I have 3 chalks here, and it is very possible that because this is fabric, this is not a pattern, you guys might not be seeing what I'm doing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to also make an illustration. When I see it and it's not clear, I'll make an illustration where, as I am talking and illustrating on a paper, I'm showing you guys the next step of the thing on the fabric. Okay, so you will just understand. On the top here, I am going to come down by 1 inch before I remove my starting line, because of we have this extra fabric here and that ain't gonna work for us. Okay, it's not gonna work. We don't want that to be part of our sewing. Okay, I think what I should just do is trim it off. So I'll mark 1 inch down from there, and I'm going to rule a line because this is going to be my starting line, where I will have my neckline and I will have my shoulder. So I hope you guys can see. I wrote 1 inch from here down to here, right? Because this is going to be my starting line. On this spot here, I'm going to place my tape and mark my shoulder measurement. My shoulder measurement is 14 inches. So I'm marking it from where I have the close edge of the fabric. Okay, so make sure whatever you're marking is from a close edge and you're going in. Even if it's not a close edge, this is a kimono, so we're going to be opening it later. So just make sure that if it's a double edge, like it's open, no problem. It's a kimono, it's going to be open on the neckline here. So I'm marking 7 inches in as my shoulder divided by 2. Divided by 2. I'm going to be adding 3 inches to that shoulder measurement because this is a kimono, guys. Okay, it's a kimono, so we don't have to have it be our shoulder measurement. Okay, so after dividing my shoulder by 2, 14 divided by 2, here I have 7 inches. I added 3 inches to the measurement, and so on my shoulder I have 10 inches as my shoulder measurement. I'm going to mark 1.5 inch slope down from that measurement. Okay, so like I said, as I'm saying this, I'll do a illustration that shows you what I'm doing before I do it. Okay, so from my 1.5 down, which is the slope, I'm going to connect it to this neckline here. Hopefully this blue chalk is showing. So from the slope, I'll go down and mark my round armhole divided by 2. My round armhole is 16. Divided by 2 gives you 8. And I'm going to place my tape from the slope, come down by 8, mark. Now before I connect, I'm going to be coming down by 2 again. So total, what I'm marking totally on my armhole is 10 too. So I have 10 as my shoulder and 10 as my armhole. So I'm just going to go down again by 2 and mark my armhole. Before I connect it straight again, I'm just going to confirm that from here to here is 10. Okay, it is not. I'll take it back. So this is 10 here. So I'll just connect these two together. This is basically what we do whenever we are creating like a busy bodice, but the difference here is I just added like 3 inches to both my shoulder and my armhole, 2 inches. Okay, so from here I'm just going to curve it to this place, right? And next thing I'm going to do is find the middle point from my slope here to this point. I marked my shoulder and my armhole measurements. Okay, from here to here, 10 inches. I'm going to look for the middle point from the slope to this point. So this is 10 divided by 2, which is going to give me 5. So this is the middle point here. And from the middle point, I'll come in by 0.5 and practically connect, like, from here to my slope, from here to this point here. Okay, so I'm using everything. It's a kimono, so I'm just going to connect to this point here. So curve, you can curve it yourself. And then, so in case this is not showing, the illustration will show you exactly what I'm doing here. Now I can go ahead and cut. This particular one I just finished cutting. I'm going to be using this for my front piece. So now, to save time and to save, just to buy cut, I'm going to take this fabric off the floor and I'll fold another fabric into two to the same width of this and to the same length. That's going to be for the back piece. Okay, I'll place the front piece on this. Okay, so what we're doing is duplicating. I'll place this, and before anything I'm going to pin both together. Okay, if you have an iron and you're doing this on your table, you should iron. It's very important. I don't actually have an iron that can reach this place while I'm cutting. That's why I'm not, but it is necessary. So what I'll practically do right now is cut. Okay, so you see, I just saved time and I'm just going to duplicate. Okay, so just watch I'm doing. Watch what I am doing. I'm just duplicating what I have on the front piece on the back. Okay, so now I have 4 fabrics lying on the floor right now, and what we're going to do next is adjust the neckline, to get the opening on the front and also get the back neckline. And please, for this part, pay attention to what I'm about to do. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is I'll come to the neck and I'm going to be marking 3.5 inch in. Okay, if you want your neck to be tighter, you can use 3 inch, but we're using 3.5 inch because I feel like I'm not the only one that's going to wear this. Okay, I am blessed with sisters. So I'm marking 3.5 inches in, and this I'm marking is what I'm marking on is both on the front and on the back. Okay, and then I'm going to mark 1 inch down on this close edge. Okay, on both fabrics I'll mark 1 inch down and I'll connect 2 together from the 3.5 to the 1 inch. I'm just going to make a curve. I feel like my illustration would have shown you what I want to do. So I made a curve. I'll cut this out. There's a pin there. take the pin off and cut. Okay, so now that I have done that, I'm going to take out this is going to be for the back piece, right? The first one I did is going to be for the back piece.
1, 2, 3,
So what I'll be doing on the front piece is I'll bring my tape and I'm just going to mark down, let's say 10 inches from this point. I'm just going to come down 10 inches. Okay, I'll use this ruler to connect from here to here. Watch, right? Watch what I will do. From here to here, I'll connect with this ruler. So from the neck width to this point, I'm connecting with this ruler. Okay, so I connected to the 10 inches here. Now what I'll do is I'll come down by probably 5 inches. Let me see. 5 inches, yeah. From my 10 inches, I came down by 5 inches. And I'm just going to go in and just use my hand to just connect it like this and just keep going till I find the end. Okay, so what we're trying to do now is eliminate when we're trying to join our band, because we're going to be adding a band to this, a band of 2 inches. Okay, so when I'm adding a band of the same fabric though, that's what I'm doing. When I'm adding a band, I don't have any funny looking thing here, so that's what I just did. The first thing I did is, so I came down by 10 inches, I used my ruler to connect, and then from the 10 inches I came down by 5, which I later on passed, and I just kept going. Okay, so what I now did was come from this place, from this neck width, and I just curved my hand so I will not have any sharp edges. Okay, I curved my hand and I just kept going down, right? And I'm going to cut this out. You see how it will look. I hope the measurement I tried to put on it made sense, or did I complicate issues? Just try and make sure you don't have any sharp edges. Okay, if you have a curve ruler, fine, use it. So what this just did now is eliminate any sharp edge that was going to appear. So now I can just open this straight up down to the length. Okay, only on the front piece. I'll just keep opening. This is the front. We have 2 pieces. Normally we have 2 pieces on the back when we are making other things, but when it comes to kimono, the front is open. So this is going to be for the front. We're going to be adding a band to it. This is for the front. Okay, and this here is the back. So I'm just going to go join the shoulders together. So I'm going to be sewing on the shoulder by 1/2 inch, on the sides by 1/2 inch. Okay, so this is the back, you see. So let's go join the side by 1/2 inch, the shoulder by 1/2 inch. Okay, so now the first thing I'll be doing here is to join the shoulders. Like I just said, I'm going to be sewing on the shoulders by 1/2 inch. So I'm practically joining the front and the back piece shoulder by 1/2 inch. So you should do the same while you are on your sewing machine. And once you're done sewing on the shoulders, you go ahead and sew the sides. That's the front piece and the back piece. You sew the sides by the allowance that you left to sew in. Okay, so right here I'm sewing in by 1 inch on my side, and that is going to be enough for my seam allowance. Once I was done joining the sides and the shoulders, the next thing I'm going to be doing is measuring the armhole. Okay, so for the sleeves, for me to cut out my fabric for the sleeves, I have to measure what I have here on the armhole, and I'll be using the measurement for my sleeves. Now I'm going to place my tape from the shoulder here. I'm just going to use my tape to follow the armhole like this carefully to the end of the side, and I'll find out what I have there. I'll be using that particular measurement to cut out my sleeve. So let's go ahead and cut this out on the fabric. After calculating the round armhole on the sleeves, and I got 16 inches, I'm going to go ahead and fold out my fabric to the length and to the width. Okay, everything we cut out is always determined by the length and the width of our fabric. Okay, so I'll fold this fabric into 2 because you always fold into 2. Okay, and I'm going to fold this into 4 because I'm cutting out the front and the left hand and the right hand, so this is going to be enough for the left and the right. So I'm just going to fold it into 2 equal parts, and this is going to be making it 4 layers of fabric. Okay, so I have 4 layers of fabric right here. Close edge, 2 layer, 2 layer, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so I have 4, and I'm going to be creating my sleeves, and I'm going to be using the easiest method. Okay, the easiest method of cutting your sleeves or creating your sleeves is from where you have your close edge. Okay, because this is going to be the upper sleeves. The upper sleeves, I don't know how to explain, but then if you're in my class I would have explained it to you. Okay, this is going to be the upper sleeves, and from where you have the 4 edges meeting together, I'm going to mark 3 inches in here. Okay, and at this base here, let me make sure the 4 fabrics are here together. Okay, so at this base here, I'm just going to come down by 6 inches. Okay, now what I'll do is from here where I have my 3 inches, I'm just going to create a curve. Okay, I'm just going to create a curve. Like I'll just keep going to create a curve like this. Very simple. Did you get it? So I'll readjust. See the curve? At least this one, the blue chalk is showing. So before I cut this out, I'm going to calculate my 16 inches I got from that round armhole. So this is exactly 16 inches, and I need allowance to sew. So what I'll do is, while cutting, I'm going to come down by half an inch, and that's going to give me at least 17 inches. So I'll go from the down, following that curve again. This I believe will give me what I'm looking for. Okay, so this is how long I want my sleeve to be. About 21 inches. I'm going to be folding. I don't want it to be too long, so I'm going to be folding in like this still. Okay, so this is it. Okay, make sure your length is what you want. You place your tape on your hand and confirm, and you make sure you get what you have on your armhole on your kimono on here with allowance for sewing. So let's confirm the allowance again we have for sewing. So I have 18 inches, so I have like almost 1.5 inch for sewing or 2 inches safe for sewing. So this is the sleeves. So we're gonna go sew here and then sew here. This is for left hand, for right hand. Before I sew the sleeves again, I'm going to repeat what I did while I cut out this fabric. I am going to still confirm the measurement. Okay, so on my armhole on the kimono, I got 16 inches, right, while I measured. So I'm going to make sure I know where 16 inches is on the sleeves. I'm going to indicate that with my eyes, and that is where I'm going to be sewing that in from. Okay, I'm going to be sewing my sleeves in from that point where I have 16 inches. So why I had to do all this necessary process is the fact that I don't want to sew and lose. Okay, I want to confirm all measurements and make sure that what I'm doing tallies with what I have on my kimono armhole. Okay, so it is necessary for you to always confirm measurements while you sew, so you don't have to come back and losing, you know, just to get it right. Okay, so yeah, avoid stressing later, stress now. So once I was done sewing, I'm trimming off the excess, and the next thing I'm going to do is flip this to the right side so I can attach the sleeves to the armhole. Okay, to the armhole on my kimono. So this is flipped to the right side. I'll bring in the armhole of the kimono. I will just check again if it's going to fit before I start sewing. So once I confirm that it's going to fit, I'm going to place the seam on the sleeves to the seam on the kimono, and I'll sew from there. And I'm going to be sewing on the wrong side. Okay, on the wrong side of my kimono, that's where I'm sewing this by, and I'm sewing this by half an inch. Okay, so make sure that the seam aligns with the seam on the sleeves where you have your sewing on the sleeves. Make sure that aligns with the sewing on the kimono. Okay, the side seam on the kimono, make sure that it aligns with the sewing on the sleeves. And once I was done doing that, this is what I have. I'm going to move on to the stage where I calculate how long my band needs to be. Okay, I told you guys I'm going to be attaching a band to the front side of my kimono. You know, it is already open, and we have already created, you know, a spot where the band is going to be sitting on the front neckline down to the from one length to another length. And I got 138 inches, and that is how long the band is going to be. After sewing the neck and you have calculated it, you use whatever you get to cut out your band that you're going to be attaching to the neckline. Okay, and my band is going to be 2 inches wide, and that is going to be like 4 inches before I fold it to get 2 inches, right? I will show you guys what I mean. So this fabric is already folded into two, so I'm cutting two at the same time. Okay, so I'll be cutting 4.5 inch. Okay, so because I could not get a 138 inches long fabric, what I did was just cut out piece by piece of fabric, and I'm going to be joining them together so that I can get a fabric as long as 138 inches. Okay, so you can do that and get your band, and let's just go ahead and fold this band into two. Okay, we're going to fold it into two. Remember, we cut out 4.5 inch width of band, and we're going to fold that into two and get a band worth 2.25 inches. Okay, so that's what I'm doing right here. I folded my fabric into two, and I'm going to iron this. Now remember, I had to join piece of fabrics together. Okay, I joined 3 pieces of fabric together to get the length that I want, like the long band that I want. So on this table here, I have 138 inches long fabric, and I am folding this fabric into two to get a width of 2.25. and once I was done ironing, the next thing I need to do is find out the middle point on my band. Okay, I need to indicate the middle point because I'm going to be attaching this band to the front side of my kimono, and from the middle point I'll sew one side to the left and one side to the right. Okay, so I'm just looking for the middle point so I can use my scissors to notch that. And I also do the same thing on the kimono, so find the middle point on the neckline, and I'll just place the two middle points together and start sewing. You guys are going to see the whole process. Very simple, very easy. Just pay attention, okay? And you're going to be making one for yourself very, very fast. Okay, so here is the middle point on my band. I notch this with my scissors, and I'm just going to bring in my kimono, and I'll also indicate the middle point by folding the back neckline into 2 equal parts or 2 equal halves. Okay, so I'll fold the neckline on the back into 2 equal halves, and I'm just going to notch with my scissors. So once I have that notch, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to be pinning the middle points on my kimono and also the middle points of the band. I'll pin them together and go so. Okay, so this is what I mean. This is the middle point on my band. Remember, I had to fold the band into 2 equal halves. 2 equal halves. And I got a middle point and I notched it. I came to my kimono, did the same thing, notched the middle points, and that was on the back neckline. And I'm just pinning those middle points together, and I will take this to the sewing machine and I will join. Okay, so what this means is that from the middle point on my band, since I have 138 inches, divide that by 2. So one of the half is going to sit on the right side of my kimono and the other half is going to sit on the left side of my kimono. And yeah, that is just practically it. Okay, so for sewing in the band, remember we're sewing it to the front side, which is open. I'm going to be sewing this by 1/2 inch. So I'm joining the band and my kimono together by 1/2 inch. And I'm starting, of course, from the middle points. You just saw me take off the pin, and I'm just going to start sewing to the left. And once I'm done sewing to the left, I'll come back from the middle point again and sew to the right. And that is how simple it is for you to create a kimono with a band. By this time you should have already liked this video. Okay, Charlie, go ahead and like the video. And let me know if you're finding anything difficult about this video. Let me explain the process again to you on the comment section. Okay, so let me know what your problem is, what any challenges, and if you have none, comment good job Vivian, good job, great job Vivian, great job. And if you miss me, let me know on the comment section. Tell me you miss me, and yeah, I would like to see that. Once I was done sewing the band to the kimono, the next thing I did was take my kimono to a friend's place, and I went there to weave the rough edges on the kimono so that I can go ahead and hem with an hemming gum. And that's what I'm doing right now, and this is like the end of the whole process. So all open edges that you have on your kimono, if it's on the sleeves, on the joining you have with your kimono and your band, or on the length, just go ahead and weave and then use a hemming gum to just create a clean finishing. Okay, to create a seamless finishing on the sleeves, on the base of your kimono. Yeah, so wherever you need to use your hemming gum, go ahead and use that, so everything looks clean, nice and neatly done. Okay, but you guys, this is what I did to create my kimono number 1. And like I said, I'm going to be creating 3 perfect, beautiful kimono, and I'm going to be taking you guys along all the process, all of them. Okay, so expect the number 2 coming up straight up after this one, and then the number 3 straight up after the number 2. Okay, and please, if you're watching and you're finding the videos interesting and you're actually learning from it, go ahead and engage on it, like, comment, share, do all those stuffs so that YouTube can recommend this video to more people, and I would really appreciate if you do that for me. But yeah, that is it for this particular video. I love you guys so much, and I'll be seeing you guys on the next kimono video coming pretty soon. Okay, yeah, thank you for watching once more. Bye for now.